We'll get you set for the first discipline and tell you a little bit more about eventing. Eventing tests the versatility of horses, and thoroughbreds have historically excelled at it, including here at the Kentucky Horse Park in one of the premier events for the sport, the 5-star Kentucky 3-day event. Eventing is a triathlon of dressage, stadium jumping, and cross-country. The eventing finale at the Thoroughbred Makeover combines the skills of all three phases. Here's how the Olympic website describes the questions eventing asks horse and rider. Quote, eventing is the most complete combined competition discipline and demands of the competitor and horse considerable experience in all branches of equitation. It covers every aspect of horsemanship, the harmony between horse and rider that characterize dressage, the contact with nature, stamina, and extensive experience essential for the cross country, the precision, agility, and technique involved in jumping. Eventing is one of the most popular second careers for former racehorses. Boggy now coming down to the United States after a career in Canada. Even ran in stakes company, had one win, and earned $54,000 in a 20-race career from 2 years old in 2014, retired in October 2017. So here we go with the first competitor in eventing, sponsored by Tipperary Equestrian. Boggy came in 5th place. The current leader heading into the finale will be Sanamo and Rosina. Retired Racehorse Project and the Thoroughbred Makeover. And it's my pleasure to welcome in Ashley Gubich, who will be giving her commentary throughout the day. And the first horse and rider that we're seeing is Boggy, the Ontario bred, ridden by the Ontario-based rider Eleanor Godson. And here they come around for the first of 9 jumps. First impressions of this horse? We do see the rail go.
Well, one of the themes that we're going to see today is most of these horses, there's a couple disciplines that were in here during the week, but most of these horses that have jumped have not competed in this arena. So it'll be interesting to see how they make the adjustment from competing dressage, show jumpers, and cross country outside. You see when she came in, it was a little spooky. He was looking at the flags, and they did have an opportunity to school in here, but it's always different with more people and more sounds and a little more pressure. So a little extra forward, a little nervous, but overall holding it together pretty well for that first round in here.
And to keep in mind that the judging, it's not on rails, it's not on time, but it's judged based on the potential that these horses and their trainability that they've shown since coming off the track.
Yes, the scoring is both a little more forgiving and a little more difficult because it is subjective. Even all the jumping is scored objectively. So there are horses that have had rails in the jumpers and even the hunters that are scoring better than some clear rounds because, again, it's on the potential that the horse shows. So we're looking for rhythm. We're looking for scope.
After jump number 9, now we see the gallop around the arena, and that's a racehorse being a racehorse. Boggy, ridden by Eleanor Godson, kicking off the finals for eventing, sponsored by Tipperary Equestrian.
Caroline Holmes, 14-year-old from Quitman, Georgia. Her whole family's here today to watch her go on this 5-year-old super thoroughbred that came to us from Rebecca Bowman. And it is just a nice thoroughbred that's doing really great in this makeover. I think it's a great place to show off what's going on with the thoroughbreds today.
This is a Kittens Joy baby, and Kittens Joy, such a well-regarded sire of racehorses, particularly on the turf, but has also become a noted sport horse sire. So we're set to go for Caroline Holmes when the judges are ready. So this is your student, Rick, and she's got her game face on, it looks like, but you know her nerves and how she'd handle this environment better than anybody.
Yeah, it's true. She is a game facer. We call her Mini Alisa, and she really can put it into it when she's got the pressure. So we'll see what happens. She had a good first jump. A little bit close on the second. The horse was a little bit behind her leg, but she seems to be coming around very well. Yeah, she just needs to get him up in front of her leg a little bit more. I think he's a little bit backed off, and he did get the finals of the show hunters as well, and he might just need a little more pressure here for him. That was a better ride.
And this is a much different environment to be competing in. How did you guys school to prepare for riding in here?
That's a good question. You get out into the warm-up and you try to figure out what exactly you need to be doing. It's one of those things where you try to make sure you have the right warm-up before you come up in for the evenings phase. And I think right now we probably needed a little bit more effort going forward out in the warm-up.
So now to the two cross-country jumps inside the arena. Does she like to let this horse, we'll see the gallop out, does she like to let him
she
go?
actually does. Like she lives on a plantation in Quitman, and so she has a lot of acreage to go gallop. So let's see what she does. That was nice last jump.
Caroline Holmes and Kittens Beauty galloping around the arena. And for the crowd inside the covered arena, what were your thoughts on that ride, Rick?
Well, I think Caroline did a good job of trying to get, we call him Bo, Kittens Beauty, in front of her leg. I think she might have had a little pressure of trying to get him really forward and off her leg. I thought overall she did a great job. It's her first time here. I think we should all be proud of her.
We'll turn it over to Alisa Wallace from Jasper, Georgia, who has competed at the highest level of eventing here at the Kentucky Horse Park in the 3-day event, and also has won the Thoroughbred Makeover Championship with Reloaded 1 year ago. Does Alisa get nervous?
I think it's a different type of nervous. She definitely wants to do a good job. This horse is owned by Donna and Jim Biggs, and they are here today watching their horse go, and she always wants to do a good job both for the horse and for the owners.
More important question, do you as her dad get nervous?
People ask me that question. When she's out on the 5-star course, I think as long as I can see her on the live feed or see her going, I stay calm because I know what she's doing and how she's reacting. So if I can't see her, I get a little nervous.
The Makeover Masterclass yesterday, there's a video of the competition, or the clinic really yesterday, and Alisa really showed her ability to communicate with a new horse fresh off the track, and now we see not the finished product, but I mean just after a year, I mean this is a really good prospect.
Yeah, and actually she just got this horse in July. She had several attempts at some thoroughbreds that were coming here, and she had to forego that path and got this one in July. She had another really nice horse called Play Big, and that one just unfortunately had a small injury before he came here today. So she hasn't had this one that long.
This is a good-looking chestnut gelding with the white blaze.
Yeah, she's doing a good job. He is a bit of a sparky horse, and as you can see, she just held the counter canter through the turn on the backside instead of trying to get a cross canter for the change. The horse jumps really good, has a good form over the top of the jump. I think this one's going to be special. I saw it out in the warm-up a couple days ago and didn't even realize it was her, and I was like, wow, that's a nice horse. And so I'm excited about this one.
Finishing the course, crafty charger Alisa Wallace, this 6-year-old
good job.
chestnut gelding. 11 starts on the track, didn't make the top 3 in any of them, but has really shown an aptitude for eventing. And a big thank you to Rick Wallace, Alisa Wallace, the entire team for being such great ambassadors for the Thoroughbred Makeover and Retired Racehorse Project. This is Josephine Irish riding the Laura Oliver-owned New York bred, and that is Right Ben, bred by McMahon of Saratoga Thoroughbreds. New York as a state has really gotten behind off-the-track thoroughbreds. There's a booth here for the New York Thoroughbred Horsemen's Association, giving prizes to any New York bred that competes. And this is one of them, Right Ben. We'll let the judges signal the horse in when they're ready. And here we go with Josephine Irish and Right Ben, a horse who liked to go to the front, a front-running style, had a 26-race career and retired in October of last year. One of the initiatives that New York Racing has is to devote a percentage of claiming prices to aftercare. And in the last few years, actually, we've seen racetracks and states really start to think about the care of the horses after they retire. All sports really have that obligation, and racing is starting to get on board more and more.
And some of that, I think we have to thank the Retired Racehorse Project. They have done a huge push to publicize the benefit of these horses and how their life has only just begun when their racing career is over. So it's really great to see the general trend towards caring for the horse for their whole life.
This was a horse that qualified for the American Eventing Championships. I mean, that's pretty good, right off the track to qualify for AECs.
Yeah, he's a really nice quality horse. He's listening really well, and a horse that came off the track as a front runner. Generally, they're pretty intense and hard to hold down while they're racing, so they did a really great job of just steadying him down. He seems very happy in his job just to cruise around at a really nice pace, which makes him able to adjust pretty easily coming up to those jumps.
I think he checked himself out in the big screen.
You can't blame him. He's kind of pretty.
Kind of pretty. So now they come around to the 9th and final jump. It's the roll top cross country jump as part of this stadium jumping and cross country combination. And now Josephine Irish letting Right Ben go around the arena. Of course,
oh, there he goes.
Checking himself out in the big screen. And this is a horse that qualified for the American Eventing Championships. So to have a makeover horse who can make an impression showing right off of the racetrack, and Josephine, a young rider who has trained 3 off-the-track thoroughbreds in eventing and 1 Mustang straight from the BLM, so definitely not shying away from a challenge. Josephine Irish aboard Right Ben. Gets a pat on the back as they leave the arena. And we will have one more horse and rider to go. The current leaders in eventing, Rosina and Sanamo. And it would be quite a feat to win both a Breeders' Cup race and a Thoroughbred Makeover discipline. We will see how Rosie does aboard this young 4-year-old Kentucky bred, bay gelding, 4 starts in 2017 and 2018. Never made the top 3, so seems to be more cut out for eventing. And here we go with Rosie Napravnik and Sanamo. This year, Rosie's put on the show coat. Last year, she came in, I think, more in jockey tack, but she has the Rosie Napravnik off-track sport horses, and she has done a great job competing in the Thoroughbred Makeover and also a board member for Retired Racehorse Project.
And she's a great advocate for racehorses, off-the-track horses, and she's really, really come into her own training them as well. She was obviously very successful as a jockey, and one of my favorite moments of hers was after she won the Breeders' Cup Distaff. She announced it was her last race because she was pregnant and ended up winning at her last race and then transitioning over, took a little bit of time off to have her kid, and now is back just killing it in eventing. Really awesome to see.
Do you see some influence, some of the skills of being a good jockey that can help out when it comes? I mean, it's two different disciplines, two different sports completely, but there may be some skills that translate over.
Well, just being a really good horseman, I think she learned a lot about the thoroughbred brain, because her riding is completely opposite of what you would see in a jockey. She's really, well, the balancing is still there, but she's really light in her hand, and a lot of jockeys know how to balance through holding off their horse on their mouth. So she is really truly balanced into her seat and down through her leg, which is something that she did not learn on the track.
We'll get a glimpse, though, at probably some good jockeyship in the gallop out.
Really great distances on all of those. There we go.
Here we go, Rosina Pravnik and Sanimo. Very well ridden and getting a well-deserved pat on the back and a smile as Rosina Pravnik gallops Sanimo around the arena. Beautifully bred horse out of a Galileo mare sired by Smart Strike.
There we go.
And now here are the top 10 finishers for eventing sponsored by Tipperary Equestrian. Coming in 10th place, rider number 65, Catherine Sand, aboard Calypso Baby. In 9th place, rider number 135, Ellen Clawitter, aboard Fiery Challenge. Finishing in 8th place, rider number 40, Rosina Pravnik, aboard Bethel Wildcat. 7th place was rider number 182, Susan Thomas, on Henny Strike. 6th place, rider number 337, Crystal Gessler and Prolific. And now to the top 5. From the finale today, in 5th place, rider number 229, Caroline Holmes and Kittens Beauty. In 4th place, rider number 357, Josephine Irish and Wright Ben. Finishing in 3rd place, rider number 50, Eleanor Godson and Boggy. Second place, rider number 92, Alisa Wallace and Crafty Charger. And that means that in first place, to take a victory gallop, rider number 371, Rosina Pravnik and Sanimo. Rosie with 2 top 10 finishers, also with Bethel Wildcat in 8th place. And let's keep the applause going for all of the top finishers who are galloping around the TCA Covered Arena in the first discipline of the afternoon, eventing sponsored by Tipperary Equestrian.